OMG. Welcome back to my channel. So excited you are here. Thanks so much for clicking on this video. I appreciate you. It's Jody Dunn. I am coming at you with a new weekly video. We are doing another garden edition because it is lovely weather for the most part here in Michigan. And I'm going to start the video off by planting some new perennials that I purchased. Well, we're going to call this a garden edition, although I am going to share an awesome recipe with you that I tried that is a fantastic dessert, and so I wanted to share it with you. If you're new and you just found me, I am so happy that you are here. Would you please say hello to me and let me know that you are new in the comments? I would love to welcome you to the channel. And if you're already subscribed, I appreciate you so much for coming back to another video. Leave me a hello down in the comments so I can say hi to you as well. So, funny story, I was out doing some yard work and a lady drove by and stopped her car and told me how wonderful my yard is looking. And she said she drives by it every day because she lives in the neighborhood. And she's always looking at, what am I doing new? And it was so dang sweet. Oh my gosh, like totally just made my day. Like my flowers aren't even hardly in bloom yet. So I was really kind of shocked, and it was just so kind of her. So anyways, I, went down the driveway and was talking to her. There's a nursery in my town that I didn't even know existed, and they're getting ready to close for the season. They'll open back up in the fall, and everything she told me was buy one, get one free. So I went the next day and found some perennials that I wanted, and I got them for buy one, get one free. So I ended up getting 2 echinacea, 2 coneflowers, 1 Shasta daisy, and then a black-eyed Susan. So they were $10 each, so I paid $20 for 4 of them. So $5 each, basically, is what it worked out to be for perennials that should come back year after year. I thought that was a fantastic deal. So I'm so happy that she stopped and that we got to talking, because like I said, didn't even know that nursery existed. So, of course, I'm using my root slayer to dig my holes because that just works way easier for me to do it that way. I got my 2 echinacea planted, and now I'm getting the Shasta daisy in the ground. I hardly have anything blooming in this bed yet, so it feels good to have some flowers that are actually blooming. And I did pull up one of my spring bulbs when I was digging here, so I'm reburying it. All right, so I got the 2 echinacea. I got Powwow Wild Raspberry. So those should pair nicely with the one I planted from Vivian, which I think is going to flower this year. So it must like this spot, so that makes me super happy. So that looks super pretty. And then I've got 1 Shasta daisy in bloom now. I'm pretty sure the rest of these that I had planted are not going to bloom. I did separate a huge clump, so I'm sure they're rerooting themselves and getting established, but at least for the meantime, I've got 1, and it has just a tremendous amount of buds on it, so that should look super pretty. Dang, it's early in the morning. It's only 70 some out, but the humidity is so high that I'm already sweating. I don't know how y'all in Lake Florida do it, where you have high humidity through the whole summer. Oh, it's a killer. I did buy a black-eyed Susan. That was what this nursery had that I visited. So I thought, I'll just plant it right here along with this one. That'll look lovely. And oh my gosh, my Sonora has opened. This is the Rudbeckia Sonora, I think. Yeah. Look at how pretty that is. Wow, it is gorgeous. I'm sure I'm gonna love the Denver daisy too, but man, I wish I would have bought more of these now. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more buds that I can see that are gonna open. Oh, so pretty. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get this black-eyed Susan planted as well. And I'm outside, so of course we're going to have some wildlife interaction here in a moment. But I swear, I keep thinking to myself, like, you got to start way earlier next year, Jody. I hate it's July by the time you're seeing this, and I don't like I want a full bed of flowers, and I don't have that yet because everything's just getting going. We can't plant anything here in Michigan until the middle of May, and I didn't do enough seed starting. I don't have a lot of room to do much seed starting in my house. So I got to figure out what to do next year. But I was having all kinds of trouble with this black-eyed Susan. It would not come out of the pot. So I figured it must have been very, very root bound. So I'm going to have to go get some scissors to cut the pot open. Hi, are you a little teeny baby bumble? Are you a little teeny baby bumble? I know you're going to like this plant, but you've got to let me get it out and get it in the ground first, okay? Oh, hi. Hi, woodpecker. Hi. I just put some fresh suet out. Yes, you're going to have some. Oh, you're just so handsome. Or actually, I think you're beautiful because you don't have any red on your head, so you're probably a female. Hi. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it kind of explains why I was having so much trouble getting it out of the pot. Hopefully Mr. Woodpecker will come back, but let me get this planted in the ground. Okay, you're gonna like being in this soil. You can spread your wings out a little. Spread your roots out, your wings. Good morning. Are you doing your breakfast? Good morning. You are most beautiful woodpecker. Yes, you are. You enjoyed your breakfast. Yes. You just eat that all up. You see the chipmunks. Hi, chipmunk. Hi, do you want a peanut? I have one. Hi, do you want a peanut? No? Okay, fine. All right, that is in the ground and hopefully should be blooming very soon because we got a lot of buds on there. So that'll be a beautiful addition to the Sonora and the Denver daisy. And here we got a chipmunk. I have a peanut. Do you want one? Probably not. I think you're the skittish one. Hi, I have a peanut. Hi. Are you gonna run? I have a peanut. Do you want it? Yeah? Look. Okay, fine. So there we go. There we go. They're planted. And these ones look beautiful. Up here as well, Shasta daisies and 2 new coneflowers. And let's hope that this coneflower blooms soon. All right, I had to share this dessert with you. So I had a lovely subscriber send me an email and say, hey, if you and your family like chocolate cake, you should check this out. And she directed me to a YouTube channel called Come Sit at My Table, which is a lovely channel. And this is going to be a Texas sheet cake that I'm making today. And I was so excited to try this recipe because I have not had Texas sheet cake since I was younger. My grandmother used to make it. I forgot about Texas sheet cake. I've never known how to make it. And this recipe was so dang easy. I'm going to pop the cake recipe up on the screen right here. So take a screenshot of it if you want to try it. And definitely go check out their channel. It really was absolutely delicious and so darn easy. So in a pan, I am just melting down 1 cup of water with 2 sticks of butter and then 4 tablespoons of cocoa. In a separate bowl, I have sifted together the flour, sugar, and baking soda. And my mom was coming for dinner on this night, and she loves dessert, so I thought it was a perfect time to make this cake. So once I brought those ingredients to a boil, I just mix it right into the dry ingredients that I already had all sifted together. And I had everything already on hand. I didn't have to go to the store for anything. The only thing you might not have on hand is you do need full fat buttermilk. He said there is no substitution for it. I use this to make homemade ranch, so that's the reason why I had it. But it's a 1/2 cup of buttermilk. And in the video, I'll link it down in the description box. He gives you basically, if you don't have buttermilk and you don't want to go buy any, how to make buttermilk at home. And then it's 2 eggs and a tablespoon of vanilla. And then you just mix everything together and put it on a dang sheet pan. That's the cake. So dang easy. And let me just tell you, this cake was so incredibly moist. It was so good that I have already made it a second time. That's how good it was. And plus, I think it was a little nostalgic for me because my grandmother used to make Texas sheet cake, and I haven't had it in so many years. You might be an expert Texas sheet cake maker already and have it regularly or a couple of times a year, but I hadn't had it in so long. And my mom is an excellent baker, and she loved this cake, loved it. So I sprayed the sheet pan with nonstick spray first and just pouring the cake over it. You bake it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes is all. I think they said 15 to 20 minutes. I did mine for 15 and checked it, and it was absolutely perfect. Now the icing needs to go on while the cake is still warm. So I started the icing about 5 minutes before the cake was supposed to be done. And sorry, this is not a great angle, but it's 1 stick of butter for the icing, 4 tablespoons of cocoa, which I actually ran out of cocoa, and I had to text my mom, and I was like, do you have any cocoa? I was right in the middle of making this, so she brought me a whole new can of cocoa. And again, you're going to use buttermilk, a 1/2 cup of buttermilk, and then powdered sugar. 4 cups of powdered sugar goes into the icing, and then a teaspoon of vanilla. Oh, and 1 cup of pecan pieces, which I wasn't even sure if I had pecan pieces in my pantry. I actually did, which was awesome. If I didn't, I was just going to leave it out, but I love all nuts, so I think it just makes it better. But I guess if you don't like nuts, you could just leave that out. So anyways, you just bring those 3 ingredients, melt the butter down, and then you add the powdered sugar. And oh my goodness, I made such a flippin' mess with this powdered sugar. I got it all over the place, but whatever. I'm a messy cooker. I just seriously could not believe how easy this was to make and why I have not had it in so many years. So I'm so grateful to that subscriber that sent me the suggestion, if I like chocolate cake, to give this a try because it was so delicious. And like I said, I've already made it again. My mom had come over for dinner. I sent her home with some. And then a couple of days later, she came over and I was like, you know, it was a big cake. So I was like, do you want any more? And she's like, yeah, I'll have just a little. And I was like, okay, do you want 2 pieces? And she goes, give me 3. She really loved it. So I actually had her for dinner tonight, the night I'm editing this, and I decided to make it again. And she was like, oh, you're making that cake again. She was excited. Donna Jean loves it. Viviana, she's not super big into chocolate. She didn't really like it that much, but me and my husband liked it. My mom loves it, and Donna Jean loves it. So pull the cake out of the oven, and you just pour the frosting, the icing, right over it. And then you need to let the cake sit for just a little bit. We ate dinner while it was sitting, so it sat for 30, 40 minutes. And then we ate it, and it was so darn good. So let me know if you make Texas sheet cake and if you make it any different than this. Or if you try this recipe and you loved it, let me know what you think. And definitely go check out Come Sit at My Table's channel. They have just a ton of different recipes on their channel. Just a really lovely channel. And this is what it looks like. Pretty much standard looking Texas sheet cake. And it was so darn good. All right, back to the gardening we are going to do. We're going to do a little bit of backyard cleanup. You know, I got goals in the backyard. I got to get bags out every single week for the guys to pick up when they come to pick up. So my goal for today was, I already got the planting done that I wanted to get done, but this little area around the little kids' playhouse, I wanted to get this area cleaned up. So I'm pulling up, oh gosh, what are these called now? I forget. The goldenrod, all the dang goldenrods that I've been pulling up for a couple weeks now. And this is areas of my yard that I haven't gotten to that still have years of piled up leaves that I'm going to go ahead. I just want to get all of the weeds out of here. Yes, I know goldenrod is not a weed, but I have way too many and I don't want them. So I'm pulling all that up and then getting all of the leaves picked up. I also have some volunteer trees in this area that I need to pull up as well. So this was a Saturday morning when I was out doing some work, and I was out here for about, usually I try to just do an hour because, you know, I like to get in the house and get all my clothes washed and get showered down just in case we still have poison ivy. I know we still have poison ivy because the hubs just recently got poison ivy. So just in case of the poison ivy, I don't like to work out here for super long. But I was out here for about probably close to an hour and a half on this day. The hubs ended up coming out right towards the end and helping me pull up some of the volunteer trees needed to be dug up. And he cut through. I've had people ask a lot, how do I keep Clark in the yard? We have an invisible fence. We have had it for many, many years. I had it with Gus. So he must have cut through one of the lines because as soon as I got out of the shower and came downstairs, I could hear beeping, which is the system telling me something's not working. Funny story about Gus. One time a line got broke. It just happens sometimes. They're not buried super deep. And it's a very annoying beeping. It's in the basement, so you don't really hear it unless you're at a certain spot in the house. Hubs turned it off. I didn't know. So I never called to get it fixed. He didn't call. And when I finally found out, he was like, Gus knows his boundaries. He won't get out of the yard. And I'm like, yeah, right. Guess what? Gus got out of the yard because he realized the fence wasn't working. I was in a panic because here I have a 150-pound Great Dane. People are going to be scared of that dog. Even though he was a sweetheart, people will be scared. So I called my cousin to come over and help. We were out searching the yard. She calls me. She goes, I think I found him. I see a horse galloping down your road. Sure enough, there he was, just galloping right down the middle of the road. It took us about 20 minutes to find him. So I got to keep a close eye on Clark until they come and fix it. So anyways, we got 6 bags of yard waste out of the yard and cleaned up that small little area. It's just all about the little chunks of the little sections in the chunks of time that I have to get the job done. So again, my goal was this area right here, right by this little playhouse. I wanted to get all of the leaves picked up from the ground and all of the things that were growing that I don't want to be there. And now it's all nice and cleared out. I'm so happy. One little section down. And now we're going to move on to some struggling flowers. All right, who remembers my clearance fuchsia plants? They went from bad to worse, I'm pretty sure. They are dead. I think what happened is they got completely overwatered. So I watered them just twice when I got them, like 4 or 5 days apart, which really is not too much, especially not for some of the hot days we've had. But then we've been getting like really sporadic rain where it will downpour, and I keep forgetting to move them and get them out of that area. So I think they just got totally waterlogged. I know most people just forget it. Just forget it and just be done with it. Like, it is what it is. I'm gonna cut one of them up and I'm gonna take a look at the roots. If the roots are still viable, maybe I can save them. I don't even know if it's worth my time, but you know, that's one of the fun things of gardening for me personally, is just kind of learning what works, what doesn't work. I've never lost a fuchsia plant before. I've had them for quite a few years. Every summer I get one, and I've never lost one before, so it's kind of breaking my heart. But yeah, it looks terrible. So, and it's so heavy. It's so heavy. Hopefully the roots did not rot out, but I probably left them for too long, so they probably did. But we're just gonna take a look and see. I'm going to just cut off all of this dead foliage and flowers. Plants die, flowers die, like it just happens. But I'm like, oh, it just makes me so sad. They were so pretty, even though they didn't look the greatest. They were really pretty. Then I found something that I was like, what the heck? All right, it looks like there's like a mesh thing around one of them, which could have explained why they weren't doing that great to begin with. I've talked about that before with plants. Sometimes you will find that, but I didn't know they did that to flowers as well. Yeah, there's like this plastic mesh thing around here, I think. Why do they do that? Why do they do that? Lord. Try to get you a closer look. Trying to get down to the bottom of the root of this one so I can see if it's even good, but I see it on the other one as well. All right. Well, I've already pulled most of it out, but yeah, can you see that? It's like a little plastic mesh that they put around the base, which I don't know. I guess they could suffocate it. I don't know. Well, this does not feel squishy. Obviously, it looks dark because it's been in dirt. I don't know. I don't know. We're just doing a whole dang experiment today to see if I can bring back this poor, once beautiful fuchsia to life. See, look at, well, you probably can't tell. Oh, that root looks good. Well, there might be hope. I'll have to get it in some dry soil. I don't have any idea if a fuchsia can grow back, but yeah, look at, can you see that whole mesh around this? That's probably why this poor thing was struggling to begin with. Look at this. What the heck? What is the point of this? Now, I took one of these out of the dirt when I first bought it, just to make sure it wasn't like super root bound, and maybe that's why it was struggling. And it wasn't. I didn't even mess with the roots or anything. I just put it right back in the dirt because I could see it had plenty of room to grow. Look at that. All right, we're gonna get this cleaned up. We're just gonna repot it and see. I don't know if anything will happen, but it'll be a fun experience. I got another one here that has the whole plastic thing on that I'm gonna take that off. All right, that's it. I washed this off real quick just so maybe you could see it better. Look at that black plastic thing all around the roots. Ugh, so stupid. So stupid. All right. The roots, they look decent. They're not very long. I don't know. Because it doesn't have any foliage, if it'll do anything. But what the heck? I mean, it was already dead basically, so let's just try to revive it and see what happens. I'm gonna repot this. All right, I got two. So the roots, there was a couple, you know, that I pulled off that were soft. But like I said, I don't know if it'll do anything with no foliage, but we're just gonna try it. What's the worst that can happen? They don't live, they're already not living. This one basically had one really long root that is soft and does not feel good, so I'm not even, that one's just done. So we're gonna try with these two and see if anything happens. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and finish the video out with a little bit of a flower update. So basically, the other plant was worse. I think that one had somehow got more water, I don't know how. So this is what I have of the fuchsia. Let's cross our fingers and hope that maybe something will happen, but I don't know. I thought I would give you an update because it's been close to a month on my baskets, or my, not my baskets, my planters that I did on the deck. First of all, look at that beauty. My lilies are blooming. I thought I had all purple, or not purple, orange, but these ones are like a beautiful red. So about 2 weeks ago, I also bought some hanging baskets for back here. They're all doing beautiful, except for that one. I don't like the way that one's growing, so I think I'm gonna have to do a little bit of cutting. It looked much more rounded when I bought it, but like I said, we have had, or if I didn't say, we've just had so much, well, I did say, we've had so much rain that just comes like so heavy, and of course that's going to affect your plants and your flowers and stuff. So I thought it would be fun to take a little comparison look. So I'll show you this one first. It is doing gorgeous. So here's a picture of what it looked like when I first potted it up. The petunias are growing, everything's growing fantastic in this pot. Obviously the, what are they called? Dang it. Geraniums. You know, they lose their flowers and then new ones start. So I have a bunch of new ones starting over here. So that will give this basket some height, or not basket, this planter some height. But everything is growing just amazing in this little guy, Celosia, has gotten just really big and beautiful. So that one looks amazing. All right, next one was this one, which has not done, it's done okay. The petunia that I planted in here, it's not doing good, like at all. It's not hanging over. It's not really growing. I did have a huge weed in there that I didn't even notice that was next to it. So I don't know if it was like choking it out, but I pulled it yesterday and I added a couple of snapdragons because I had some leftover snapdragons still that I hadn't planted. So I added a couple of snapdragons in here. This, I can't remember what this one's called. I'll pop it up on the screen. It's not doing the greatest either. My, again, geranium is doing just fine. It's getting ready to bloom out again. This thing grew so much. I don't even remember what this is called. Necia sun. I don't know what this is, but that's what it is. It has grown just a ton and filled out. Now, this is my snapdragon pot that I sowed all of these seeds. And look at how little it was when I first potted it up, and it is growing so big. I have one that is flowering, a whole bunch more that are getting ready to flower. Lots of buds. I have had to put some staking in here because they were getting too big and heavy. But I think that's going to be beautiful within like a couple of weeks. And then this one here is another one that didn't do as well as I had hoped. The petunias, again, just not growing. They just might not be a super prolific growing type of petunia. Some are not. My geranium that I planted in here is really not doing that great either. I did add this in here. The lantana, fantastic. That's grown like, I don't even know, 4 times of what it was when I started it. I did add some snapdragons. Again, I think I still have 6 or 7 snapdragons I need to add somewhere. And then I also just yesterday I added the snapdragons and a dang it, why can I not think of this? Was a one that I direct sowed, a marigold. So I didn't have a whole lot of marigolds that made it through getting flooded out a few weeks ago, but that one did, and so I just popped it in there. So that's kind of my update on, I wish I would have got more of this lantana. I cannot believe how much it has grown. Everything really is doing fantastic except for a couple of the petunias, but that's what they all look like over here. It's just so colorful and bright back here. I absolutely love it. Let me show you one more thing. All right. I have to get in here and weed, but oh my gosh, look at my Mexican sunflowers. They are doing so well. I am so darn excited about them. Oh, I wish I would have just planted more of these instead of trying to grow a whole bunch of different tall varieties of sunflowers. Of course, I didn't know that the animals were all going to destroy them. I don't know why they're leaving the Mexican sunflowers away, but I'm dang grateful. These are going to be so beautiful. So I just wanted to give you the update. So we got quite a few things done in this week's video. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. I got some backyard cleanup done, a couple more flowers planted, perennials in the front, which is awesome. And then you got an update on all of my planters and the Mexican sunflowers. Oh, I cannot wait to see them bloom. All right, that's what I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.